Hey, it's Brock here with Uncommon Aquatics, and today I want to share with you my journey of raising angelfish from eggs to free swimming fry. I've watched a lot of angelfish breeding videos, and all of those videos were successful, and mine is a failure. Now, it's not a complete failure because I do have free swimming angelfish fry, but all of those videos taught me things, but none of them taught me the way failing at it taught me. Because I made some critical mistakes that I'm going to share with you guys and show you why I only have a few angelfish that made it when I could have had a lot more. So my journey with breeding angelfish started in this 125 gallon, which had 13 angelfish in it. And 2 angelfish laid eggs on the back glass. I was really excited, and I actually made a video just showing those eggs. But the next morning, the eggs were gone. And that was my first lesson is, I thought maybe the angelfish could guard their own eggs. Well, they couldn't. Either some of these fish ate those eggs, or the parents ate the eggs. And I didn't know which it was, but I knew I wanted to give them a better chance, so I set them up with their own tank. So I moved these 2 angelfish, these beautiful koi angelfish, with a lot of white on them, but also some nice coloration. And I moved them into this 40-gallon breeder. About a week later, they laid eggs on this vertical pot here that I put in there for them to lay eggs on. Great news, right? Well, not really. The next day I came out and that pot was swarmed with snails. There's a lot of snails in this tank, if you see there and here. And that pot was covered in snails and half the eggs were gone. And so I knew I'd messed up. So I started doing more research and I ordered this egg tumbler. The egg tumbler is inexpensive on Amazon and arrived quickly and definitely worth the money. It's basically just a container that you put an air line in the top of it. It comes with an air stone and all this tubing. And as the air circulates, it creates suction here and it keeps the eggs moving. It's simple to set up and it works. I'll put a link in the video description to the egg tumbler that I'm using. So I went ahead and got the tumbler set up and waited 2 more weeks. And these fish laid eggs on that pot again. And we're going to pick up our story right there and show what happened with those eggs. There you can see the eggs we've got. Here's the egg tumbler. There's another shot of the eggs. We're going to try to get all those off of here. So, I'm going to use this card. Just try to scrape these off. This is not as easy as I thought it would be. I thought these would be more sticky. When they come off, they're just wanting to float around. So I've seen other people talk about removing these eggs with a card like I'm doing, like a credit card or something. But I'm wondering if a turkey baster would have worked better for this exact process, to just suck the eggs up and then shoot them out into the tumbler. So here you can see the angelfish eggs. Now let's get some air on. So we've got our air going. And we've got some eggs tumbling. The angelfish want to get the eggs out of there. They want to take care of them. That's a good thing. Okay, so I found these eggs on the pot about, I don't know, midnight or 1 a.m. last night, and couldn't find my methylene blue. So I went to the store first thing this morning and got some. Eggs look fine, you know, they're obviously nothing is getting to them. I don't see any signs of fungus. They're moving around. I don't know if that means they'll hatch or not. Also, you can see some snails here, but those snails are on the outside of the tumbler, not on the inside. So now I'm going to add 4 teaspoons of methylene blue to this 40-gallon tank. So we've got some angelfish eggs that are flying around, and then we've got a little bit that are stuck to the glass up here. None of them look white, and you can see I've got the methylene blue in it. I also just turned the air way down, the airflow on this. And the eggs are kind of staying on the sides a little bit more. I was thinking of it like if those eggs hatched now, those wrigglers aren't going to be thrown around and slammed into the side. So I kind of think that amount of airflow might be right. Just a little clarification in case you're completely new to the process I'm going through. If these eggs don't have constant water passing over them, they don't have some flow, they get fungus that grows on them and kills them. You'll see the eggs get covered in this patchy white stuff, and that is the end of your baby fish. So the tumbler is used to keep that air and water moving. Okay, we are now 36 hours from when I found the eggs, and I've turned that flow rate down, and they've kind of formed a ring where they're clumping up. I was told that that's how you want them to look inside of the tumbler. And hopefully soon, we've got wrigglers. Alright guys, we are on day 3 with these eggs, and some of them are still clear and some have turned white. But I was starting to think we weren't going to get any babies, but if you look really close, you can see we've got wrigglers. They've got little bitty tails. And it's hard to zoom in on it and keep the picture clear. I think maybe because the lighting is low. Let me move a light over. See, those guys have tails. We have baby angelfish. Essentially, the parents sit here and stare at those eggs all day. So I'm hoping that they're protective of the babies once they're let out. But I've got to do a little bit of research and find out how big I let these wrigglers get before letting them out of the tumbler. I think I should have moved these out quicker or done something different, because my wrigglers seem like they're stuck to these eggs, and maybe they're just feeding off of them. But I went out and bought a breeder box, and I'm going to go ahead and transfer these into that breeder box now. So whether you are here to learn, or you're here to teach, or you are just curious, I want you to look at the difference between this shot here that has little wiggling baby angelfish and this shot here where they're kind of stuck together in a clump. This is where I went wrong, and hopefully this is where we can all learn something. Essentially, what I do know is that if not all of your eggs hatch into fry, you've got to separate out the eggs that do not hatch. So the breeder box is from Fluval, and I've been really happy with all my Fluval stuff. The local store, I paid $25 for it. I bet you can get that cheaper on Amazon. I'll put links where you can get a breeder box or an egg tumbler. I think for this, it's probably ideal to have both, especially if you're breeding a lot of fish. But I'm going to get this, and I'm going to place it on the front of the aquarium and get the eggs transferred over to it. So this is actually my first time using one of these boxes, and it's a very simple design that seems like it'll be very effective. So we've got our air line that comes in here. It's got an adjustment on it. And the air comes in through here and runs up this tube, which causes water to suck up. And that water drips in here and fills the box up, which causes the box to overflow back into the aquarium. We'll take our lid off. See, right there is where the water is coming in. We've got these separators that you can use if you want, but you don't have to. And this is where the water overflows back into the aquarium. Nice, slow flow. The whole thing will be low flow. And it's the same water out of the aquarium, just like it was in the bubbler. So now we're going to move these eggs into here. I'm worried I've done some damage here by not doing the process right, because I haven't done this before. You can see wrigglers right in here still trying to swim around. And as those little guys are still trying to swim, I think they're going to be fine. But I'm concerned that some of these eggs have that fungus on them. So what I'm going to do is some of these clumps that have the fungus on them, like right there, that's got the fungus growing. I'm going to net some of those out with my little shrimp net. I may separate them with like some plant tweezers. And then I'm going to put a little more methylene blue in here. So you could hear it in my voice as I was recording that live that I was worried I was going to lose these fry. And instinctively, I felt like I needed to separate the wigglers from the eggs that didn't hatch. But it's difficult to do. They're so small and they're hard to see. And I tried it a little bit and I gave up and I decided, you know what? These will be fine. And I believe that was my big mistake. My other mistake may be that I wasn't feeding them properly, even though at the time I thought I was. So I've put a little methylene blue in here, and we've got lots of them swimming around. Good progress. And I'm actually still kind of confused what is on the bottom of this breeder box. What is all that little black stuff? Because I have put a little bit of food in there, but not much. These are baby angelfish fry that are just a few days old. At this point, I really thought I was home free and I was going to have 40 or 50 baby angelfish. But I left the tank and came back the next day to find fungus all over the bottom of the breeder box again. And my wigglers were not doing so well. So it's been a journey with these eggs, and I've learned a lot. I didn't know any better, and that's cost me a lot of fry. So let's see what we have left today after I went through and sorted all of the eggs out and pulled all of the debris out and have just fry in here. So as you look in there today, you'll see that there's probably only 10 fry left. And that's because the day before I thought everything was going great, and I come back the next day and there's fungus all over the bottom, and a lot of those fry are stuck in that fungus. So I've learned a few things from this experience. What I'm hoping is that you guys will leave me comments telling me maybe some other mistakes I've made and things I can do better. And I'm going to try again until I get the hang of this and we raise some beautiful angelfish from these parents. So I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.